Welcome to day 2 in Tirana, Albania. And what better place to start than in front of the 37-storey tower with the map of Albania on it. How cool is that? We're going to do a little bit of history and sightseeing today. So come with us. We've had a little bit of a nightmare with mobile data and internet here. You're relying on Wi-Fi because Albania does not get European phone coverage, and therefore I didn't want to spend for 20 odd hours. So luckily, Vodafone like to sponsor everything over here, and there is a bridge full of internet.
We've now come to the Pyramid of Tirana, which at the time it was built was the most expensive building to be built in Albania. It was originally opened as the Enver Hoxha Museum for the long-time communist leader of Albania. But following the fall of communism in 1991, it has had lots of other jobs. It became a NATO base during the Kosovo War. It's been a broadcasting centre as well and a conference centre. At the moment, it's just got lots of coffee shops in, and I'm not sure what the rest is being used for, but we've seen lots of coffee shops on the other side.
I do think we should probably try and get to the top like everyone else is doing.
Do all the steps to the top.
Being at the top of the pyramid, you can clearly see the effect that communism had, because you can see a 360 angle here. And you've got the buildings in the background here that are just, well, worn down, falling apart. And then you look across and you get these new skyscrapers.
And there's so many cranes around, so much is going in at the moment as well.
But it feels like communism had such a negative effect on the country, and the economy is just wrecked.
I think so. Our taxi driver yesterday was telling us that he said the big problem here is just the economy is completely shattered.
Yeah.
He said there's just no money to be here, and which is why a really interesting fact about Albania is that more Albanians live outside of Albania than in Albania.
Isn't there about just over 4 million, and I think half of that live
so
outside of Albania?
I think, the population of Albania is not very big at all, actually, in the country. And that's because they have to go to other countries for work and stuff.
But you can, as I said, you can see that slowly the money is possibly coming in.
There's lots of modern buildings going up. Obviously, we are in the capital city, though.
That helps.
Driving from the airport to here, you can see kind of more rural areas, and actually they look like they are still very much suffering. And actually, when we're going up in the cable car, looking at houses from the top of the cable car, it's very different to kind of the modern cities we're used to. Obviously, Albania is just a very different country to what we're used to.
But that's what's amazing about being in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Because you can just travel to these places.
Is Albania in Europe?
I don't know.
This is the controversial thing. Our phone plan says it's not in Europe.
But it's above Greece, and Greece is in, I don't know. We'll work that one out later. But this is a really cool pyramid that you can actually look around the city.
It was built for a very bad reason.
Yeah, it was by the communist leader's daughter
as a tribute to him, to continue his legacy.
Son-in-law. Yeah.
But it was built for a bad reason. But actually, there's been reports on people wanting to knock it down because of what it stood for.
Yeah, but it's history.
I think it's history and part of the city, which is why it stayed.
Yeah.
But it does give a really good view of the city when you're up there.
Should we go see what's inside? I might need a little bit of a snack or a hot chocolate,
see if we can get something at a cafe here.
Adding to Albania's beauty is all of its mountains. 70% of Albania is mountainous, which makes it pretty difficult for people to live. But we do see people actually living high up. But it is just stunning, isn't it? It's stunning. We see them when we flew in, and it is amazing. And at the moment, it's quite cloudy here today. And when you look at the top, you see the clouds just drifting over the top of the mountains. It is awesome. Well, there's not really a lot going on in here except the cafe, which is way too busy. There's no space. So we're gonna go and find somewhere that has some breakfast, hot drinks, and a place to sit down. So we're gonna go more into the center, I think. check this out. So I have got a pistachio cake. I think it's a cheesecake. Charlie has got a red velvet cookie, strawberry milkshake, and check out this hot chocolate. That is like proper chocolate, not the powdered stuff. Oh my God. I've got it all over my mouth. Let's try some of the pistachio. It's definitely like a cheesecake. Oh, we have found an absolute gem. Sophie's Cafe.
Time for the cookie.
Bursting out. How is it?
So good, so tasty. Oh, it's like red velvet cream and cheese, so tasty.
You see the difference between me and Charlie? She is very polite and covers her mouth. I do not. We've been hiding in that coffee shop for ages because it has started chucking it down and it is set in for the rest of the day. We need to find an umbrella really, mainly just for my camera so it doesn't get all wet in the mics and stuff. Just purchased two of the cheapest umbrellas I've ever seen. Quality is shocking, but it will keep us going for the next few hours. I can't believe how bad this weather is.
It's so wet, it's disgusting.
Right, let's get to Skanderbeg Square.
This is Skanderbeg Square, and this was named after the 15th century nobleman and military commander who led the rebellion against the Ottoman Empire. This monument is huge. It is the biggest monument of a man on a horse in the world, but it's not the original monument. This used to be a statue of Joseph Stalin, but that was removed and replaced with the one here today.
Skanderbeg Square used to actually be full of traffic. It was so busy, but in 2017 it had a massive redevelopment. It is now pedestrianised and it is a location for events like this. Lots of public occasions happen right here. Now it's a symbol of Albanian independence and solidarity.
The square is a really important location because of what's surrounding it. So you've got the Opera House there in the background. You've got the mosque and the clock tower to this side. Over here you've got the National Bank, and then on the other side, the National History Museum. The mosaic behind me is one of the finest examples of Albanian socialist realism. It was installed in 1981 and it shows Albania through the years up to the communist era. It was heavily damaged by an earthquake though in 2019, and the European Union actually funded the repair of the project, which was completed this year. And don't you think it looks amazing?
So the Opera House was built in 1953 and is the largest opera house and ballet centre in the country. But it was built in communist times, and I think the colours, the beiges, the yellows, that sums up the colours of the time. And Albania has all this, but then we go across, hang on, we need to skip around slightly, because then you're getting real modern skyscrapers and towers now that are full of different colours, the blues, the greens. And so, as we were saying earlier, Albania is slowly developing and becoming its own identity. Here's another fact for you. Did you know Albania doesn't have any McDonald's in the country at all? Which is crazy because you think McDonald's are everywhere, but no. It does have plenty of Burger King and KFC though, so it's not without its fast food. Well, I've never been in a mosque before. What's it called?
Etembe Mosque.
Okay. Now, this has been around for quite a while, but during communist times, Albania was an atheist country
It was
because
the first
obviously,
atheist country.
yeah, obviously because of communism. But this stayed because it was a.
They made it into a historical monument, and then in 1991, 10,000 people walked with flags into it for the first time, and the police didn't interfere, and then
Wow.
it reopened as a mosque.
Wow.
There is actually, this mosque actually isn't used that much because they built a second one that's a little bit further away that's much bigger.
There was a few people in there praying and whatnot.
But this is more used now as, I guess, as a tourist thing to show the history of the
think so.
country. But it was very interesting to look at. It's quite a unique one as well because quite often they don't have waterfall paintings and things on the wall. I was reading some of the information on the inside.
The
artwork,
painting on the kind of the globe, what do you call it?
Chandelier?
No, the chandelier's the light. No, what the dome on top. The dome on top. That some of that artwork was fantastic,
yeah, it's
amazing.
Wasn't it? So it's been massively restored to keep it as close to the original as best. But it's just really impressive to look at in the inside. The only problem is, obviously, it's very wet outside, and obviously taking your shoes off to be courteous, but trying to get your shoes off on the wet floor and not stand on the wet floor was a little bit
One of the
difficult.
interesting things is when we were in the taxi on our way to Tirana, the taxi driver, he was Muslim, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, so the country is half...
Bit 50-50 Catholic and...
It's a larger percentage Muslim, but you are either Muslim or Catholic.
Yeah, but...
Or there are some atheists around still from the communist era.
Yeah, and that's fine. We're atheist and all that.
But they're very harmonious with each other.
Yeah, so that's one of the things the taxi driver was saying, that actually we're all the same, and this is what I say, we're all the same.
Yeah.
We all bleed red and all that.
That's what he was saying, religion doesn't matter.
People are apparently, according to the taxi driver, they get on with each other. You know, it doesn't matter what religion you are, or if you don't have a religion, everyone can be friends, and that's fantastic, right? Because it doesn't really matter, who cares?
No.
Well, that is a little bit more grand than the mosque, isn't it?
It is.
Very
Not like
marbly, but both have very good painting.
Yeah. And nothing like at the cathedral we've seen before.
No,
I've been to a couple of cathedrals
It's
before.
no Winchester Cathedral, is it? It's a little bit more modern.
I was going to say, it's because it's not old. Most
No.
cathedrals you go and look at are very, very old.
No.
This obviously was built after the communist time, I assume.
Okay.
And I just think it's then a lot newer, so it just has a completely different feel to it, I think. But
I think
very
so.
grand on the inside.
Yeah, but that's what you get with Christianity and Catholicism. It's
I really
a lot
love-
a lot of gold and shiny things and wealth. That's what I always find.
I would say even the walk up to it is very grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even the
God
entry.
always needs money. That's all I'm going to say. Right, let's go to... There's a castle that's not a castle, and now it's mainly shops.
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's go
Because
there.
I really want to do some shopping.
Well, this is nice. This is a real modern way to update what was an old castle. So outside is the castle walls, and inside, lots of restaurants, wine bars, a few shops as well. Really, really nice little touch here. I really like what they did in there. That was really good, nice,
pretty.
wasn't
And
it?
I bet at night when it's all
A
lit up.
trendy spot for young people, I reckon.
Yeah.
Now, we do see the old and the new, so now we're going to go check out the shopping centre because Charlie wants some retail therapy, obviously. Can't go somewhere.
And someone to escape the rain and the warmth for a
That's
minute.
true. I like shopping centres in other countries, though, because I like seeing what products they have that's
You
different.
love comparing prices too.
And comparing prices, but it's quite tricky with how weird the lek is. But I like seeing different items that other countries get that we don't, or other flavours of things as well. So let's go Top Tanny. I think that's what the shopping centre may be called. So let's head in here. This shopping centre is huge, 8 floors high. Absolutely insane how many shops are here, and there are lots that you've not heard of.
I think I've heard of one. so far.
You've just been in, what's that called?
De facto.
De facto, never heard of that. There's a few like Hugo Intersport that we've heard of.
Armani Exchange. I've
And
heard of
Armani
that.
Exchange, but Yamamme, Italian leisure wear,
I like their
lifestyle.
Christmas pyjamas. They're really cute.
Yeah, I
you
like-
wouldn't wear matching with me.
We might have to go in there because there's lots of underwear and lingerie.
That's not for YouTube.
But there's so many shops, so we're going to spend a while in here to check out what we can find. So we'll catch you later. as the weather is so rubbish outside, we thought we needed somewhere indoors. So we've done a bit of a walk, and when I say a bit of a walk, Charlie is now sulking because her legs ache. She's a bit grumpy. So we've done a bit of a walk and we've come to the Ring Centre, which is another shopping centre. We're just going to have a mooch around, probably get some more food before we head back to the airport. Well, that is our whistle-stop tour of Tirana complete. Home we go, back to Luton Airport.
On a flight that's early, which is very rare for Wizz Air.
I know, it was meant to be an 8:50 p.m. flight, but it's at least 10 minutes early, which is good because we'll be getting back quite late. Need to charge the car on the way back as well. Now, what I'd like to know, Charlie, is did Albania match your expectations?
Yes and no. I was really excited to come for a Christmas market.
Okay.
And I don't feel I really got my Christmas market
No, that's true.
in. But yeah, I don't really have any expectations, if I'm honest, because I didn't really know what to expect. We didn't do any research really.
No.
I watched one YouTube video on Albania, but they'd been in the summer.
I think
so. It was completely different.
I think it more or less matched what I expected, and that's that half communist side that used to be around to now things are modernising, and I think that certainly matched what I thought. What did you like most about the trip here? About the country, about your time here?
My favourite thing we did on the trip, or my favourite thing about the country?
Just either.
So the cable car was probably my favourite thing we did.
Yeah.
But I would say one of the things I really like about the country is all the mountains, because we haven't really been somewhere like with this much mountainous area around us. So that was really nice to see. And actually, even landing on the plane, it was really beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I would say so. What's your least favourite?
The monkey.
You explain that?
Right, so we were walking past a pet shop and we stopped to look because they had cats in the window.
Which is not great as it is.
Yeah, we weren't really happy about the cats, but we could see the cats in the window, so we stopped and looked at them. And then I was looking at the cages, which were further back. It was closed, we think,
There
so we couldn't
there
go
was
in.
a Pomeranian dog, I think.
So there was a Pomeranian dog in one of the cages. I wasn't happy about that. However, in the cage above it was a small monkey, and for me... And then I googled...
Pets and animals should not be sold in shops, I don't think, because they're left there, and I think it's not great.
And we walked past again this morning, and they had the curtain across so you couldn't see what was in the cages because it was shut. But all the cats were just there, and the shop was shut, and they're all on their own. And it just, for me, I googled like the trade of pets in Albania, and there's still quite a...
Not great.
No, there's still like a wild animal trade.
Well, my favourite thing, it's quite tricky to say. It is beautiful, and there's a real mix of history, culture. That's
We learned a lot.
fantastic. Yeah. I love that a lot of the taxis are all electric now. That's so good.
Oh, yeah.
We kept using the electric taxis, which is fantastic. It's so great. No, I didn't really see any infrastructure for electric, but that was pretty awesome. The one thing I really wasn't happy and didn't like, though,
Which we can still smell now.
the smoking. The smoking. People smoke inside.
Is it, the way they get away with it here is technically it's like an...
Inside smoking area.
It's like a
but the smoke
conservatory
drifts.
added onto the
but
restaurant.
the smoke drifts in.
And like last night, the place we were in having drinks, there was no door in between. The door was open,
and then
so
your
that
eyes
smell-
start
yeah.
burning. So that's
I think
really
as
weird
well-
and not great.
We haven't been to a country with that.
No,
obviously-
because most countries
and that's the thing. And in the
realise
UK,
that
been
it's a
gone
bad thing.
Since we were kids, so don't get me wrong, we both remember as kids going to the pub and people smoking in the pub, but not for a long time.
Not nice. Well, that was our trip. It was awesome to get here, and this is what is so amazing about Europe, is that you can go places which have different cultures, different language, different food, different scenery. It's incredible, and this trip was about 3 hours, takes about 3 hours. So, you know, we left early on Saturday, leaving late on Sunday. I think we got plenty in our time here.
Yeah.
It was a shame about the rain today. That was really annoying. But otherwise, it was an awesome little
It was
trip.
really nice to explore somewhere completely different to where we normally go.
Definitely. So if you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button on the video down there and subscribe as well. And we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.